Suppose you wish to graph an inequality in two variables. Let's consider the example x plus y is greater than 2. Here's how you can graph such an example on the calculator. First, we have to solve the statement for the y variable. The calculator assumes y is the dependent variable, so we need to rewrite the inequality as y is greater than 2 minus x. And then we will type in 2 minus x under the y equals. So we select y equals and type in 2 minus x. Now at this point, it will graph the line. So we need to select the appropriate icon that represents shading. Since y is greater than 2 minus x, we want the shading icon that represents shading above the graph. So we hit second and the left arrow. That brings us to the beginning of the plot. And we continue to hit the left arrow until we get to the very end. And this is the icon that we want. This icon here represents shading above the curve. Let's go ahead and hit graph. And here we see shading above the line. Now suppose we wish to plot more than one inequality on the same coordinate axes. Say for example we have this system. X plus y is greater than 2 and x squared minus 2y is greater than or equal to 5. Remember that we have to solve these inequalities for y, so our system will look like this. Y is greater than 2 minus x, y is less than or equal to the difference between x squared and 5, and that difference is divided by 2. So we'll type these things into the calculator. We already have the first one typed in, so we'll type in the second one. And again, at this point, we now need to select the appropriate icon for shading. For this particular part of the system, though, the y value is less than the graph. So the shading is to be below. So we need to select the icon that represents shading below the curve. So again, I'll hit second and left arrow to bring me to the beginning of the line. And then I'll hit the left arrow a couple more times to get to the icon transition. And I'll hit enter until I get to this icon. This icon right here represents shading below the curve. So then we hit graph. And the calculator will shade a different direction when plotting multiple inequality statements. The region that has the most shading is considered to be the solution region for the system. And this is how you can plot inequalities on the graphing calculator.